Recently, I ran a poll over my YouTube community tab. I wanted to know how much people liked the camera work in my videos. Doing more work doesn't always necessarily mean a better video, and if people didn't end up liking it, well then I could just save myself some work and not include the camera. I learned two things. The first one is that people overwhelmingly like this camera. The second thing is that people really like this hat. Hey everyone, Jarek here. After the complete fuck garbage I played last week, I figured I might as well play a game that everyone has told me is amazing. Something to actually enjoy instead of torture myself with. I have been getting recommendations for this game for a very long time, well over a year. On my YouTube comments, over on Twitter, in my Discord, virtually everyone wanted me to play this game, so it had to be good, right? You guys were right. Why did I not play this game sooner? This is awesome! As a bit of a disclaimer, this game came out a little over a year ago in early access, and from what I've seen from a year ago compared to now, quite a bit has changed, but the game is still in early access. Just as a warning, I am making this video as of late June 2020. So if you come back and watch this video 6 months from now, things might be quite a bit different. The first thing I noticed when I booted up to the main menu is that the music is awesome. This game has an 80s action movie sort of Miami Vice art style to it, and I love it. When you try to launch into the campaign of this game, you're able to create your own custom character. There's no PvP, so this doesn't matter in the way you think it would, I'll explain later. Next thing is it allows you to give yourself a name and your studio a name. Let's think of something fitting to the name of this channel. Perfect. After this you get a brief tutorial that's pretty good and tells you almost everything you need to know about the game. It's a first-person shooter, so controls for the most part are what you would expect, with a few major differences. First one is that you have no sprint, you're moving pretty quickly at all times, but instead pressing the shift button will activate slow motion. This bullet time mechanic is very similar to that of, say, the original Fear. The bar for your slow motion is in the bottom right, it recharges very quickly, so use it liberally. Next thing is that pressing control will allow you to dive. It is heavily encouraged for you to use slow motion and dive around every corner possible. If you hold down the dive button, you can even slide when you land. The next big thing is that you can dual wield any weapon. It doesn't matter if it's a shotgun, pump action, lever action, pistols, it means nothing. Every weapon is dual wieldable, and this is awesome. Some of these don't make any sense. Like I said, you can dual wield pump actions. I guess you have invisible fourth arms. Who cares? It's fun. The melee also works differently. You're allowed to basically kick off of walls and people to gain some extra height. The only thing this tutorial didn't explain that it probably should have is that when you're in slow motion and using a precision weapon or a semi-automatic, if you hold the fire button down, it will slow down even further to get even more precise shots. And this is awesome. The reason this is such an incredibly clever mechanic is because it means that you can get a little bit of extra control without making the slow motion too slow. They want the player to abuse slow motion, but if it's this slow the entire time making shots easy, then the game is just too slow. You don't need to slow the game down this much for an automatic shotgun or an M16. But for a semi-automatic, you kind of do. I didn't know this for the front half of the campaign, and I wish I did. But after the tutorial, you're kind of just booted out into the missions to have fun. From here on out, I'm going to cover the game like I cover any other game, starting with the story. There is none. Did you not read the title of the game? This game is about chaotic gunfights, having fun, giving control to the player to wreak havoc. It's inspired by 80s action movies, and the graphics complement this goal perfectly. Saying this game has amazing graphics would be misleading, but you also can't really judge it in the typical way. It's intentionally retro. Models don't have a high polygon count, there's no real-time reflections or anything like that. However, as a reminder, graphics are far more than just pushing technology forward. A big part of your graphics are going to be the aesthetic and artwork you put into the game, and this game succeeds incredibly well in this regard. As I mentioned before, this game is heavily inspired by 80s action movies and it plays the part. The aesthetic, the art style, the music, everything comes together perfectly. Regardless, you still have a ton of graphics options in the menu. Yes, including changing your FOV. And you might have to change these options, because even though this game looks like a retro-styled game, it has a lot of effects piled on top of it. This is where you can see inspirations from John Woo or other games that are inspired by John Woo, like say the original Fear, come into play. In any gunfight, there's chaotic explosions, blood, dust, your screen is full of effects. I've had other people tell me this will make their computer slow down. Personally, I didn't have this issue until I got into a few of the endless modes. When you're really making shit hit the fan, your frame rate might start to dip because of all these effects. But in my experience, it typically didn't cause a problem. Keep in mind I'm still running on a 980 Ti, so I don't exactly have the best GPU in the world. What I can say is that the effects add to the complete chaos this game allows you to unleash. Now we're finally at the part that matters. The gameplay. To be honest, there's not a whole lot of content here. What is here is really good, but you'll probably beat these levels in around an hour. That's not including the endless levels, which will add a lot more fun to the game. These campaign levels are short, linear experiences designed to make you push forward as fast as possible and get the highest score you can. There's no restrictions on needing to get a high score, but if you want to do it, you can go for it. The inspirations for these levels are sometimes really in your face, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, one of these levels is called T for Woo. I think the biggest inspiration for this entire game is probably John Woo. It's not the first game to be inspired by him either. John Woo is a major inspiration for the original Fear. And I feel like that sort of approach actually fits video games better than movies, funny enough. Anyway, the thing I really liked about these levels is that they have a different theme per level. In a way, this really reminded me of Time Splitters 2. One level you'd be in a Vietnam-looking jungle, another level you'd be in a Chinese restaurant, the next level you'd be in some Soviet base. Hell, there's even a Wild West themed level. This ensures that even though the combat itself doesn't actually change, the different theming of weapons you get per level makes it feel totally different per level instead of just the same game all the way through. I didn't get bored with this game. And speaking of, we need to talk about guns, because goddamn these are fun. There is a wide variety of weapons in this game. All are loud, punchy, and have good effects when you shoot something. There might just be a generic pistol like say an M9, or maybe there'll be a pump action shotgun that obliterates enemies. Maybe you'll get a big full M60. Maybe you'll get an M16 with a grenade launcher. Or maybe you'll get my personal favorite, the AA-12. The AA-12 is kind of a standard in video games. It's a fully automatic shotgun. Shotguns are always fun in video games. Well, most of the time, until developers decide they need to be balanced for multiplayer and then also butcher them in the single player too. But this game doesn't need to worry about that, so just unleash fury with this thing. I dare to say this might be the best AA-12 in any game I played. The only real rival is Killing Floor, and I don't know which one I like more. They're both really fun. Something neat about this game is that it also has a workshop, and there's quite a few weapons added to this workshop. At any given moment, including in the campaign, you can press the P key, which will drop down a menu, and you can select any weapon you want to play with. Yes, this also includes the workshop weapons. There's already quite a few to choose from. And if you want to just experiment with the guns and check them all out, this game even has a shooting range, which, thank God, I love it when developers do this. If you're a developer of a game making a shooter, please add a shooting range. It is so convenient for me. I understand I have a niche situation, but it's really nice to just jump into a shooting range, shoot a little bit before I'm streaming, get my audio levels right, and then go into the game. Plus, I just like messing with guns, who doesn't? There's one last thing you can do in these campaign missions, and that is find VHS tapes. Not all maps have a VHS tape, but most of them do. You can tell which ones do by them having an icon when you select the stage. If the icon is grayed out, you have not found the VHS tape in that level. What do these VHS tapes do? Well, they unlocked an endless mission. This is not just the campaign mode, but endless. This is actually a totally different level. There are also letters you can find scattered throughout the map. I have no clue what these do. They make a noise when you pick them up, so I assume they do something, but nothing seems to change. If you know what they do, please tell me in the comments. I actually have no clue. Okay, and from here we move on to the endless levels. These are what you would think they are, but they have totally different levels to have fun on. These levels have totally different themes, totally different weapons, and different enemies. This is surprisingly addictive, although when I was playing I was trying to just get through the level so I could see everything. Somehow out of that, I guess I got the 6th highest score worldwide. I wasn't really trying to do that, I was just playing. It also apparently doesn't display because my name is too long, oops. It was like 26,000 or something like that, I don't remember. Seriously, I wasn't trying to get the score. I guarantee you can get a higher score than this very easily if you put some effort into it, so I want to see my name bumped down. I want to see you guys playing this game. Anyway, endless is what you would expect. Endless enemies rushing at you and you get numerous guns, just do whatever you want. And it is a lot of fun. I do have one complaint though, and that is between every round the game sort of stutters to load the next round. Usually not a big deal, except for on the canyon level where there's a cliff and this can happen.
Thanks, game.
Thankfully I hadn't gone very far and I just wanted to see the level, but if I was going for a high score and that happened, I'd be pretty annoyed. Anyway, remember when I said you could change your avatar at the beginning of this video, customize it to be your own avatar? Well, the reason this is important is not because of PvP, but because there's a replay function. This is supposed to work like an 80s action movie showing all the action that you happen from different angles, but in my experience it's just really janky and nowhere close to being finished yet. It does state that it's an alpha, but looking at footage from a year ago, it seems like it's only gotten even buggier than before, so I don't know if this will ever get finished. Or at least it's not a priority. It will likely get finished, but it's definitely not the first thing they're working on. Probably will be the very last thing they do. But that's about it. That's Maximum Action. It's a name that is completely accurate to the game, and it is a lot of fun. It's only around $10 on Steam, so it's completely worth that amount of money. If you haven't played it, go check it out. It's a fun time waste and you can really use it to de-stress. I don't regret playing it. Thanks to all of you guys that joined me over on Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/JarekTheGamingDragon. If you subscribe, you get to see my videos ahead of time, so check that out. I also added some new tiers and goals over my Patreon, including a way to request me to play certain games via one tier. Again, thank all of you guys for watching, and I'll see you next video.